For years, smartphone cameras kept improving. Better detail. Better zoom. Better night mode. But eventually, everything started feeling predictable. Every new phone promised huge upgrades. Yet most people could barely notice a real difference anymore. And strangely enough, that's exactly why this comparison became so interesting. Because the Galaxy S26 Ultra and the iPhone 17 Pro are no longer trying to impress users in the same way. Apple focuses on balance. Samsung focuses on power. And for the first time in years, that difference actually feels obvious again. The moment you pick them up, you immediately notice two completely different philosophies. The iPhone feels clean, minimal, controlled. Meanwhile, the Galaxy S26 Ultra feels aggressive. Sharper design, huge camera hardware, more dramatic visuals. Samsung clearly designed this phone to instantly stand out. Because Apple wants photos to feel natural, Samsung wants photos to immediately grab your attention. And depending on the situation, both approaches can look seriously impressive. During daylight, both phones perform at an extremely high level. Details look sharp. Dynamic range looks excellent. Colors look vibrant. But image processing feels very different. The iPhone usually keeps things softer and more realistic. Samsung does the opposite. Photos look brighter, sharper, more contrasty. Sometimes, the Galaxy S26 Ultra almost looks unreal. And weirdly enough, that's exactly why many people love it. Because Samsung photos instantly stand out on social media. Now this is where Samsung starts becoming dangerous. Because zoom photography is still one of Samsung's biggest strengths. Long-distance shots still look ridiculously detailed. Street signs, buildings, textures, tiny objects, things that normally become blurry, still remain surprisingly usable. The iPhone performs well too. But once the zoom increases, Samsung starts showing exactly why its zoom system became so respected. Now this is where Apple becomes extremely dangerous again. Because video recording is still one of Apple's biggest strengths. The stabilization looks incredibly smooth. Exposure changes feel cleaner. Motion blur looks natural. The iPhone still delivers one of the cleanest and most reliable smartphone video experiences available right now. Samsung improved massively over the last few years. But Apple still feels slightly more polished during movement. Especially while walking. That cinematic consistency matters more than people realize. Because smartphone cameras stopped feeling like casual tools. Most people now create content directly from their phones. TikTok videos, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. And in those situations, video quality matters just as much as photography. Low light is where things become really interesting. Because both phones handle darkness very differently. The iPhone tries to protect realism. Samsung tries to maximize brightness and visibility. That's why Samsung scenes usually look brighter at night. Meanwhile, the iPhone often keeps darker shadows intact. And surprisingly, some people actually prefer that cinematic look. Performance also feels incredibly fast on both phones. Apps open instantly. Everything feels fast and effortless. Animations feel smooth. But again, the experience feels different. The iPhone focuses on consistency and optimization. Samsung focuses on customization and raw power. Battery life also became much closer this year. The Galaxy S26 Ultra still feels slightly stronger during heavy usage. But Apple continues doing an impressive job with optimization. Charging speed is another area where Samsung still feels more aggressive. Faster charging. More flexibility. More hardware-focused features. Meanwhile, Apple still focuses more on stability and long-term consistency. So, which phone is actually better? That answer completely depends on the type of user you are. If you want natural colors, smooth video, better app optimization, the iPhone 17 Pro still feels incredibly difficult to beat. But if you want crazy zoom, sharper images, brighter night shots, the Galaxy S26 Ultra feels seriously impressive. Because for the first time in years, these phones actually feel different again. Different styles, different priorities, different experiences. And maybe that's exactly why smartphones finally feel exciting again. And honestly, that's exactly why this smartphone battle suddenly feels exciting again. Because now, the differences between these phones finally feel obvious again. Apple still focuses on refinement. Samsung still focuses on pushing hardware further. And surprisingly, both strategies work incredibly well. Some users want simplicity. Others want more freedom and customization. Some people care more about smooth cinematic video. Others care more about zoom power and aggressive camera hardware. And honestly, that's exactly why choosing between these phones suddenly became difficult again. Because for the first time in years, smartphones actually feel exciting again.